What I'm not seeing, Ms. Bromberger.
He was in drug court at the time that we moved in. He was required to have a full-time job, and he was being drug tested and alcohol tested several times a week.
How many times have you been arrested?
Never.
Then why would you want to sign a lease with someone who had been arrested for heroin use? And if you're an intelligent woman, and I assume you are, if you're employed as a nurse, you have to have certain educational background, you have to have certain clinical ability, you have to have certain academic ability. It belies credulity to think that the first time he used heroin, he got arrested. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. It's like the unluckiest robber in the world. The first time they rob somebody, they get caught. Criminals do that because they do it so many times without getting caught that it almost makes it worthwhile. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You know, you commit 7 or 8 armed robberies, and if you get caught once and you get a slap on the wrist, you know, you figure, listen, system's working in my favor. So clearly you had someone who was a longer-term heroin abuser other than just once. Aside from that, he's involved in some way or another, unless you know of some disability that he has. Do you know of any legitimate disability?
No, Your Honor.
Then somehow he got somebody to write him a fake prescription or a phonied-up prescription for medical marijuana, which is supposed to be used in this jurisdiction for people who suffer from a disability and who can benefit from the use of marijuana in their treatment, not for somebody who wants to get high, right?
Right.
Explain to me what I'm not seeing that an intelligent woman like you saw.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com or call 1-888-800-JUDY.
Go ahead.
I thought he deserved a second chance. He was in court, and they were keeping a close eye on him. They were drug testing him for alcohol, making sure he had a full-time job, going to meetings. So I thought he deserved a chance. He needed to get out of where he was living, and so did I. So we moved in together.
Mm-hmm. Do you still speak to him?
I do not.
That's good. You left your room like a pig, Mr. Mayor. You're owing $900. That's all. Out.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
He didn't clean up his share of the apartment at all.
Because I already paid to get the carpets cleaned.
There was much more than carpet cleaning that needed to be done.
We got in a fight, and I was like, I'm not even going to clean it up if I already paid for the carpet cleaning.
There was a lot of other damage to the apartment besides the carpet.
Friendships don't last forever. Things can always go wrong.
I can't depend on him at all. He just takes and doesn't give back.
Miss Johnson, this is your aunt?
Yes.
You borrowed her car?
Yes.
And you didn't return it?
She let me borrow the car.
Just a second. Just follow my questions.
Yes.
Doesn't require a whole lot of talking. Just requires you answering my questions. You borrowed her car.
Yes.
And you didn't return it.
I tried to.
When did you borrow her car?
September 29th, 2009.
When did you try to return it?
I believe my husband got a ticket for trying to return it.
Got a ticket for trying to return it. Explain that to me.
He was on the way to go give her...
This the husband?
Yes, this is my husband.
Stand.
He was on the way to go give her the vehicle.
Just a second. You weren't there, I assume.
Right.
So you were on your way to return the car when?
The ticket I got was on the 13th of February.
February 13th, you got a moving violation. For what?
For non-registration.
And?
And that was pretty much the only ticket I got for that because I had no valid registration on the vehicle at that time. So I was pretty much bringing the vehicle to the house so we could drop it off there because she wanted the vehicle back. So the only way to get it there was to drive it there besides towing.
Listen to me carefully, sir.
Sorry.
Police stopped you.
Yes.
They gave you a ticket.
Yes.
Then what happened?
He just told me to pretty much...
Don't tell me what he told you.
Okay.
That's hearsay.
I'm sorry.
You got a ticket.
Yes.
You had no valid registration.
No.
Where were you when you got the ticket?
Exiting the 22 freeway on Euclid.
How did you get home?
I took a bus.
Where did you leave the car?
At my job.
At your job?
At my job.
Why didn't you take the car back? I thought you were taking it to Miss Anaya.
I was in the process of taking it there.
No. Your wife says you were going to return the car to her.
Yes.
Well, why didn't you get there? Police didn't take the car.
No, they did not.
They gave you a ticket for not a valid registration.
Yes, they did.
Because the registration had probably expired from the time your wife borrowed the car until February.
Yes.
So why didn't you just drive the car to Miss Anaya's?
I was kind of scared to get another ticket, honestly.
You drove it!
I didn't want to get another ticket, Your Honor. I really didn't. I already got one, and I didn't want to get another one.
Drove it!
I couldn't pay for a towing. I couldn't.
You drove it!
Yes.
So why didn't you just drive it to her house?
Because she...
Don't Speak. Why didn't you just drive it to her house?
I was going to.